There's light behind me, but I wish you could see seriously how artificial this light is. It looks like, oh, it's a sunny day. When it does this, there's no light source. It just looks like they turn the lights on and turn the lights off. I've seen a bunch of people noticing now with this full moon. People are starting to notice like there's some weird stuff. The moon, since people are looking, they're seeing it out in the daytime, which doesn't go with the globe story. And then you see it. They said like it was a crescent, and then 2 days later it was full. Didn't go. It's not going through the thing because everything's out of whack because we're not all focusing our energy on the same reality. Like before, when we were all compliant, we all just went along with the program, we all saw. And then when people started breaking free from that, saying, hey, wait, this doesn't add up, this doesn't add up. And it's weird how many of us ask the same questions in school, like about gravity and why don't I feel like I'm hanging upside down? How does the water stay on if we're hanging upside down? All of that stuff that we were all asking the questions because they were telling us stuff that didn't make any sense. And I've seen so much now too about, why they started with the education thing. It has nothing to do with trying to teach people skills. It's all to teach you to be compliant to your master, the one you serve. So, it was never to educate us, but we had to recognize that. We had to see like, hey, why do we get out of these places and we don't have any skills? We can't take care of ourselves. I saw somebody saying that 65% of the kids, they have that, expensive piece of paper, are working unskilled labor jobs. So jobs that they have to have like GED jobs, like I said, it's, hey, Stella, gosh dang. And I don't know how she has such perfect aim on the same damn foot every time. It's like she's crushed it. Anyways, that most of the kids are working, if they're working, are working in unskilled labor jobs that they never needed any education for to begin with. So this is, it's all just a scam. It's all a way to get money from us. I watched the 2000 donkeys today. And I saw, you can see it on BitChute if you want to watch it. And it is, Dinesh talking to other people who are kind of public supporters of the situation. So anyways, a lot of it is him looking at evidence and stuff like that. And since he's focused on, oh gosh, Stella, will you please stop? You gotta be right, just like right on top of me. She's having a hard time, but I'm telling you, I am having such a hard time. So I completely have empathy for her because at least I know what's going on, I mean, she's living that 2-dimensional world. She doesn't know what's going on out here in the 3-dimensional world. I keep trying to tell her, but she doesn't understand it. But this morning even, my stomach woke me up. My stomach is so upset. It is weird. So whatever this is that they're poisoning, Stella wouldn't even eat yesterday. So whatever they're dropping on us right now, it does something to give you GI upset or whatever. Like I got E. coli before from the faucet water. And how I even knew, like I got really sick, but I didn't know what I was sick from or with or whatever. I just knew like I was having this explosive diarrhea that had this like really strange smell to it. So I knew I had something, but I didn't know what it was. And, because I don't even know that, I guess, depending on what's inside of you to begin with is what's going to, it depends on what's in there that's rotting or whatever, So I think even, she's really crushing me, even, what is that called? food poisoning, I don't think has like a certain bacterias that give you this particular strange where you can tell like something's wrong with me. I've got something wrong with me. And so I didn't know, I just knew I was sick, but I didn't know where I got it from. And then they said it on the news, and they said everybody needed to stop drinking the faucet water in our community because it had been contaminated with E. coli. And then I even, so I stopped drinking it, and I always kept water by my bed, and I didn't think about changing that water out. So if I woke up in the middle of the night, take a swig of that water. So I kept being sick for a while until all of a sudden I was like, oh man, this water. Because it was a couple of weeks being really super sick. So that's one thing why I don't trust any of their BS. And there's such a change to me on TikTok. Maybe it's just because my algorithm is just sees these people, but I see more and more and more and more and more every day, questioning things, trying to get other people to question things. So I really see a big uptick or whatever in how many people are waking up. And also, yeah, where David was talking about, he was working on telekinesis, and he thought he had that gift. I think when he was younger or something, there was some kind of thing where he already felt like he had that, but he hadn't really trained himself or whatever. So he's been training on that. But I've been doing things like, one thing that the shaman lady told me to do, she said, pick a place in the room, like pick a corner or whatever. And then imagine yourself in that corner and take on the room from that perspective. Look at the room from that corner. That is when you are putting your consciousness in another place. And so she was explaining to me how to do that. So I practice like that kind of stuff. I'm always practicing telepathy. I've been practicing that for a long time because I know for sure that is, that's real. I've seen that evidence of that so many times. It's crazy. And I know that we all are connected like that. Like we can talk to each other without having to use the physical stuff that they give us. We just think we need the physical stuff, so we use it because that's part of this three-dimensional matrix world, is that. But that is why it is us breaking free from that. Breaking free. Oh, see if I can put my legs back down. I'm so squashed, lady. No, it's gonna disturb her more. But anyways, so I have been working. I gotta move this thing. I feel like I'm like this tiny head sitting down here. I don't know what it looks like if I could see good, but it just looks like this little white head sitting way down here. So, anyways, in the mule thing, that, I'll just kind of skip around a little, kind of go back to that with the donkeys and stuff. So, there was a couple of things I wanted to talk about too, besides the focusing on the, whatever, your skills or your gifts or something. Like I had seen that one guy who had been working on moving things by using his mind. So that's telekinesis, controlling energy with your mind. And so he was doing that, and he would put his hands out but there is like this kinetic energy that you can, there's energy that's coming out of you, like your aura that's all around you is your energy vibration that is coming outside of the avatar, even though you can't see it, but the avatar is just a reflection of your higher self. But it is, just so it can go through this process. And I was thinking about this morning. So when you are having a dream, like I was thinking to try and get the understanding of how this is a projection, how it seems real, but it's not really there or here or whatever. So when you're in a dream and you're having some dream and you can feel everything happen, you can feel if somebody touches you, you can feel if you get hurt. any of the stuff in the dream, you can feel it, or it seems real. But then you wake up and all of a sudden you're in a different reality. That is the same thing. That's what this life is. It's just exactly the same thing. Only instead of being able to just wake up, you are, for one thing, you're birthed into it, so you forget. So you're not just waking yourself up, oh, wait, I'm out of here. Because there's a purpose to, it's like a blind kind of testing of yourself, like to yearn to master your own avatar or your own connection to spirit or whatever. It's got to come from within, something that you desire. So it has to be where you feel it and you know it and you want more of it. So it's your path, it's your destination, it's where you want to go. And then there's but there's other people who aren't here for the same thing. They're here to just experience this three-dimensional world. So there's all different people here for all different reasons. But so if you are focused on, if you're birthed into this reality and you forget where you came from, because it's part of the game to get to the place without with your inner knowing, your inner guidance, your connection. That is what is the part of you that helps you to maneuver the game. But see, they interfere with that connection, that Wi-Fi or whatever between you and your higher self. They create an energetic kind of mess up in it. But see, so all of us have, we are all energy. And inside of this avatar, so you get birthed into this avatar, but it's really just an illusion. It's really just a dream. You get birthed into a dream. So you come in, and in the dream, you get to come up with your own sub-dream. So you get to have a dream inside of a dream. But got way too many things going, I think, it's just planting seeds. Your mind and your inner guidance will help you put together your own understanding. I can just give you things that I see or things that I understand. Sometimes I sit there and say things I understand, but sometimes I don't know anything about it or understand it at all. And then when I hear it back, even. But a lot of times stuff is explained to me and shown to me, and then I'm trying to explain it from the visuals, and then they'll still give you words and images and stuff, but it's hard to it's hard to explain some of this stuff. So anyways, your avatar that you are residing in, your spacesuit, then the being inside, the soul, the true self, it is inside the spacesuit, but it's the power source, and the frequency or vibration of it goes outside of the spacesuit. So everybody has this aura. It's your pulsation of your energy that is kind of going outside of you. So then and don't forget, there's energy all around us. That's what Tesla was talking about, tapping into, I think. I don't know all of his stuff or whatever, but I know that there is energy all around us. And not all energy, if you're conscious energy, you're doing stuff like what we're doing. You're going in to experience yourself, experience what life is about and stuff. You go into, we create life. Life isn't even real except for we create it. So that is what life is a creation of each of ours. So it's, but anyways, here they have manipulated about life and got people to stay disconnected from their inner self, from all of the natural world out there, and cause a lot of interference so that people can't tap into their own higher self. And so it's their own hidden messaging to help them maneuver the game. It's like the lost treasure map is inside of you. And so if you tap into, like, if you start really understanding about your energy, and in this stuff, in that movie Ghost, when he's trying to teach him how to move stuff with just his mind, that is like what it is like when he because the ghost is trying to tell him how to move this stuff without being able to use your hands anymore. You have to use your energy to move it. But how it would get him tired, but how you can get stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's how, some of these people who are not in bodies, what people think of as ghosts or spirits or whatever, that how some of them can move stuff easily. And but also one of the things too is how that they can just take something into their realm and then move it into another place, because not every time do you see something floating down the hall, but you can have something here, you start looking for it, and then you go find it, because that already happened to me before. In that one house where I knew that ghost, she was just I think she felt like I was intruding in her house. I think she was confused and thought my husband was her husband. I think she just had a lot of confusion, and I irritated her. I mean, she was constantly trying to get me to clean more. She'd turn the water on all the time. She would always shut the door between us to keep us separate and stuff. She'd go out and watch over him. He would always see her standing in the door watching him. And, but she had a lot of, I don't know how hostile she was towards me, but she definitely didn't like me. But something in that house got even open more in the portal. And I'm not sure if it was maybe because there was already one there or something, but more weird stuff started happening. And so it wasn't just her. I really wonder about what the people are now who moved into that house. But why did I even go off on that ghost story? Oh, because she moves. Oh, because the one time, yeah. So I was watching TV with my daughter, and my husband was downstairs playing music, and they would always mess with the music. They had particular music they liked and didn't like. And so anyways, we got up for a second. I think he asked me something, probably if I turned the music off or something. And so I got up and walked to the door, I think. But then when my daughter and I came back, the two remotes were gone. They were just gone off of everything. We couldn't find them. We're searching the house, looking under the couch. I mean, they were sitting right there, and then all of a sudden they were gone. So we're looking everywhere, and then so we then started looking in the bedroom, and it was over in the bedroom, behind the lamps, both of them standing up straight instead of laying down. I mean, it was, but, that lady or whoever was messing with me. I've had so many different houses where there's ghosts, but I didn't see anything floating through the house, is what I'm saying. So sometimes they can just take something, and I think it like goes into their realm and then move it. So there's a lot of things about, the abilities that consciousness can make for itself. Our whole thing is that we've all been so trapped in this, that we haven't developed those parts of us. But some of us have those parts of us already developed. And now it's us trying to remember what all that we are capable of doing. Okay, Stella, I know you don't feel good, but I can't even move, lady. Okay, there. Whoa. Okay. Hold on. I would pause it, but I don't know how to do it. It won't do that. Let me splice them together unless I go and do a whole editing app, and then it starts being like a giant ordeal. It isn't like I wouldn't have the time or put in the effort. Okay, so really have this in a cock-a-doodle-doo kind of way, dude. I can't see and stuff to do it. It's hard to try and learn technology and read stuff when you can't see. So, okay, I don't know what you want me to do. How about if I move to the chair now and you just lay there, okay? How about that? Okay, you don't have to clean me about it. But anyways, so when you do get that idea of, so you have energy that is coming out, you don't have to use your fingers. You know, we are just tuned in to the body. So we think, you know, oh, well, we need our fingers to grab that. But we don't need these things to communicate. We don't need our fingers and toes and stuff like we believe we do. We have more abilities when we start being able to master the avatar. When I hear people, like yesterday I was hearing somebody and they were explaining something about flesh and blood and, you know, the spirit part of us. Maybe it was even David Wilcock. Because yesterday I couldn't find anything to watch. I just listened to music again, or the waves. But anyways, they were talking about flesh and blood. And there is this like flesh and blood, but it isn't like what we think. It's just like the same as in a dream. When you go in and, you know, you can get hurt in a dream, you can eat in a dream, you can have sex in a dream. I mean, all of that stuff that you can do in a dream, it doesn't seem like it's not really happening, that you're dreaming it, right? It feels like it's really happening. And I think that is another reason why there's so many, I keep seeing more people now saying like their dreams are changed. They're going into like classes at night and stuff. They're having other things they're doing. And that's what started happening to me too. I started noticing that. And I started noticing I had an awareness. Even when I was asleep, I was still aware of what was going on, or that I was gone doing something. Like I started having awareness of that stuff. And then there is, if I go back to the kinetic thing, so, or the guy who I saw who was using his hand, and he would have like a can or something that would be across the room, and then he would keep directing it. And then I saw videos even where he was out doing it with the clouds. He was changing the cloud shape by directing his energy. And I was asking him about it, and he was, you know, working on developing or whatever, that gift or skill or whatever. But he, it was kind of freaking him out. Just like David Wilcox said, it was kind of freaking him out now with the telekinesis. I have found a lot of this kind of stuff kind of freaks me out. Like different things will kind of freak me out. It can just be like some synchronicity. Some things are so magical that it's just crazy. It's so crazy how magical this place really is, and how much it's been blocked from us, and how much that we couldn't see the magic because we were focused on what they told us to focus on, what they told us to believe. And then we just did it. We played the part. But I mean, our soul came here to do that. You know, we came here to go through that experience. But it's just trippy waking up from that experience and seeing the different ways of reality and the different ways of being, and how significant it is when you're being misled. Like, there's so much stuff to me that we're learning as consciousness. But you know, if there is this energy, this untapped energy around us, and like what I've talked about before, like, so if you go out and you're in a really bad mood and you're just so upset and you're stomping around, you're stomping through the mall and you've had enough, and whatever your thing is, all of the, depending on the vibration and frequency of the free energy that is not really sure of itself or what it is, that, you know, likes the feeling of anger or whatever, you know, part of the beasts that feed off of you, not just the ones that are conscious, but there's also ones that are not conscious. And it's just energy, and it will attach to you. And so you're going through, well, there could be somebody who's more depressed and they're happy where they're at. That energy is, you know, helping her stay in that negative headspace, and it's feeding off of her despair. But so when you're going through with all that attitude, you're attracting any energy. Like if you went past somebody and they had a big wad of it and they were starting to feel better, they were getting out of the house, they were doing something, they were feeling more positive, maybe they were healing a relationship with somebody at the mall, having a soda with them or something, whatever, and their energy was letting go of that, and you're passing by, that energy is going to attach to you, and it's going to start bringing all of the energy that she had fed it, all of the negative and shitty feelings and negative messaging. It's going to attach to you now, and you're carrying it. So you've got that energy on you, and so it's going to be feeding you messages and making you feel worse. And that is one thing, it's a really good reason to even not go out to a bunch of public places when there's so much trauma and stuff. And right after I had just said about not going out because of the things that they do with the weapons, where they like to MK Ultra and get people to go in and do their business for them. So and now they're doing that. They're going to be doing more and more of it, especially because they want to take those things away from people. And so they need to make so much outrage. Every time they campaign for that, there's mass amount of shootings that go on, So that is, and that's what they do. It's all, but so one of the things when I was watching this show, the donkey show, another aspect of, let's just move the old people into government housing. The people are forced to fill in that circle for who the administration says, and who owns everything. They put their own people in. It's been going on for so long. I don't think there's been a vote that has been real. I think all of them are rigged. I think some of the states where we have these people who we think, this is a Democrat-run state, is, I think that it is made that way. They do it on purpose. I don't think that everybody is as liberal as they try and make out that everybody is. I think everybody wants progress, but everybody's idea of progress is different. Not everybody has the same idea of where that should be. Yesterday I saw, I've been seeing so many things about the trans stuff that is really good, where people are talking about like these kids being trapped on hormones and stuff. I saw a girl yesterday making a really good point, and I had this happen too, because when I was 26, I already had 2 kids, and I went in and I asked to get a tubal ligation, and they wouldn't do it. They're like, no, you're way too young. And I was like, well, I already have 2 kids. I don't want to have more kids. And they said, nope, you're too young. And so then I finally got somebody to do it. And then they said, oh, you're too young, you'll change your mind. And I was like, no, I won't. I will never change my mind. And then, 2 years later, I was in there getting the reversal because I changed my mind. And ironically, the doctor who did it walked past me while I was sitting out there waiting to be called back for my surgery. I was like, oh my God. Sitting there telling him, I swear, just please do it. I will never change my mind. But anyways, but somebody was talking about that she didn't want to have kids, and she's gone to a bunch of doctors and asked to have a hysterectomy, and they won't do it. They say she can't, she's too young to make a decision like that for herself. So she said, why are they letting other people then make the decision to go on these blockers and stuff? And, we don't even know at this point what some of this stuff, because it's an experiment. We don't know what's going to happen with all these people. There's so many people who have transitioned who are so regretful and transition back, because it's never the solution. They market these solutions that are not real. You're not going to feel better about yourself because you feel like you're a man trapped in a woman's body. You're here for the woman's experience. You're bringing to the table your masculine perspective. You're here to receive the feminine perspective, to blend those together. People get caught up in this, like it's just another thing. If they understood about reincarnation and why they're here and why they are the sex they are and what they're supposed to be doing about it and stuff, instead of like, oh, you're not happy. Well, this is a very unhappy place, and most people don't feel happy, and most people feel judged, and most people don't feel understood or connected. So when all these kids are feeling that way, they don't know that we all feel this way, that this world has just gone in a direction that is tearing us apart rather than bringing us together. It's creating fear and anger and resentfulness and so much. I mean, it just stands out to me so much more every day is just watching that donkey thing was how many of the people, what was it? God, how does that just go right out of my head right as I'm starting to talk about it? So frustrating. But all of the different people who that wasn't what I was gonna say. I'll just have to circle back. Try and think back what I was talking about. Just all of a sudden it's like goes blank slate. It's like, what? Where am I? That happens to me sometimes when I am. That's why ended up going to the doctor the time I went. I mean, when it very first happened, when I very first got my brain injury, I kept going in. Oh, yeah, it was something about that. When I very first went in, I got because my kids were telling me that I seemed like I had dementia now, and I couldn't remember anything. Like they would tell me something, and then I'd be asking them a few minutes later about it. Like I couldn't remember things from 1 minute to the next minute or something. And so I would gone to the doctor then, and that's when they were like, and I didn't even know until I got my lawyer, because in order to get a lawyer for malpractice, you have to go through such an investigation. It is mental, the investigation you have to go through. And I had to go through 2 of them because the lawyer who decided they were going to take my case on wanted to hire out a different one. And so he was hiring another one. So I had to go through her investigation after his investigation. And go all through your medical records and everything and see it. And she was medical malpractice. And she had medical background and legal background. So she knew a lot of stuff to look for, whatever. But I didn't know what all had happened to me while I was in the hospital until the lawyer explained it and showed me and stuff. And she had talked to so many doctors and everything. So she explained it to me, but I didn't know. And, I was having horrible pain. I was having so much confusion. I was having such a hard time trying to get back into my life. I couldn't fit. I couldn't get back into it. I couldn't understand what was going on. And then people were saying I have dementia and stuff. Then I go to the doctor, and then he's like, oh, it's the hormones after your hysterectomy. It's just the hormones. And so then I went in and complained again, and I don't remember what I said. So he said he was sending me to a neurologist. I went to that neurologist who was a friend of his. And then as soon as they found out that I had an aunt who had early Alzheimer's, that's all they would talk about. I needed all her records for this person. They were just going to pin the whole thing on that I had early dementia. But then I had to go to some other neurologists who made me go through more tests that showed I didn't have Alzheimer's and I didn't have dementia. I had a brain injury that I didn't have before I went in the hospital. And I got suddenly in the hospital, and they tried to tell me it was, this pill or that pill. I wish I would have seen then that I should have been suing all of the damn pharmaceutical companies. That's for damn sure. For how much they kept trying to pin stuff on it. Yeah. If they're using that in court, then that should be a wake-up call for us all. If the hospital is saying, oh, no, it's the medicine. It's nothing we did. The medicine is what you got to watch out for. So the whole system is just, it's so rigged. And that was such a big thing in that show is, you know, they do go for the poor people who, you know, can't make it. So they are actually paying, giving them money to go and I mean, that's not even just, I don't know, that's another level, you know. But all these people who were involved, who were doing that, the people who were flying the planes around us and dumping chemicals on us, the people who are out there burning down crops. I saw yesterday where they said some big egg farm, the biggest one in Indiana or something like that, 500 million chickens. Like, how big is a farm to have 500 million chickens? Like, how do they even count that many chickens? But they burned them all up. They just started them on fire, just live, burned them. Because they said one had bird flu or something like that. So, you know, if those people aren't cabal, those people are just our regular citizens, you know, that are having to, they're going to be learning some hard stuff. Like, there's people who are in that, they're going to be going to prison. And if you go in and watch that, you know, like, stuff is getting close. Things, I mean, the names and stuff, there is evidence. This isn't just like, oh, maybe this happened. No, there's evidence. And the judicial will, there will be some kind of a switch over. You know, I think we're going to go away from judicial government and all those governing agencies, and that's going to become something of the past. But for now, you know, we still have to base things on that system. And, you know, I mean, I can't imagine with all this stuff coming out that something is not about to go down. And whatever they're going to try and do that's going to be the other side make a move to take their rightful stand, the other one is going to overreact, of course, and no telling what they're going to do. So we just all have to just kind of be prepared, you know, and stay safe. And I know they're doing stuff with the frequencies and the poisons so much where I'm at. I'm sure they're doing it in other places just as strong. And I have seen recently too where they were talking about if it might have been one of their agendas, but if people go missing, like in small, they can go in and wipe out a whole community without anyone ever even knowing, just like what I had just been saying it. And then a day or two later, I hear that. I can't even tell you how much confirmation that I get all the time of stuff that I will say, and then I'll get confirmation after I say it, like all of this stuff. But you know, the whole thing with all of these people who are involved in all of that stuff, they're going to be in so much trouble. And it's going to be regular people, like I was saying yesterday. It's not going to just be the people who we think of as being really horrible people. And I hate to be judgmental on any of the people. Like, I saw after I was being like judgy about people watching Johnny and Amber, you know, it is waking people up in another way, because I've seen people talking about their own abuse and, you know, their own healing or their own way of changing their circumstance or whatever. So that is another kind of way that is backfires. You know, they try and get people to be distracted and only, you know, focus on this stuff that has nothing to do with our lives. But it is, you know, bringing people together again, bringing women who have escaped from abusive situations and getting other women who are still in them, you know, forming communities and talking and understanding each other. Just like the same thing with the milk, the same thing with all the conspiracy theorists and stuff. It's just bringing us all together with people that we have something in common with, a common fight. You know, we see what's wrong and then we want to change it. And so there's all of these different groups. So everything that they do, that they are trying to cause problems. It all backfires on them. It all goes. It's the hand of God turning things in the other direction. But we still have something big that's going to happen, that's going to really be felt, where it's going to really turn us in another direction. And then we still have something big coming after that. There's going to be, because the big thing can't happen until more people are awake. It's going to be the people waking up is going to be the creation of the energy that's going to reverberate back to whatever it is. Take down the ice wall and bust through the firmament. I don't know. I don't know what it is going to be, but something big, cosmic, cataclysmic kind of event is going to happen. But I mean, this is just it's all an illusion. It's all a hologram. So, it's not really, the loss is only the attachment you put onto it. There's nothing to attach to really in the physical world, because none of it is real. It is just chasing your tail. But a lot of people have to go through that to get to that point of wanting to connect to something more, because all their lives lead them on a certain path. It's not just like you're living this one life and everything has to do with this one life. It's all your lives put together to get you to a certain point. That's why I think I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, this is my last lifetime. I'm not doing three-dimensional anymore. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of them in their inner guidance know, like they're ascending, they're moving up. They're moving out of the three-dimensional. They've succeeded. They've completed it. They've completed this round or this session. And this age is ending. And so it's ascending up to a newer vibration, a higher vibration, a new experience. So there's so many things I wanted to say, and I really feel so every day. It doesn't feel like it's getting more grounded or more, I don't know. I feel so much more like weird. Like I think that the physical things going on in my body is kind of what keeps me grounded to this reality. Because I feel like I could just float right out of here. Sometimes I feel like I could just leave my body and just go. And I don't know. I think it has something to do with the awakening. And as you get more in touch with your consciousness, I don't know. Still in development. But it's weird how much more all the time that I feel disconnected from this reality. And I don't know if it has to do with my vision too. It's hard to be connected to something you can't see. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just know whatever I'm going through is what I'm supposed to be going through. And, it's got some benefit, even if I don't know what it is right now. So I'm going to appreciate, you got to appreciate it. You got to be appreciating it, because if you're miserable and you're upset about your situation, it makes it so much worse, because then you're just focused on the energy of like, oh, this sucks. You got to just look at it as, for me, I just look at it as, okay, this is temporary. This is just an experience. This isn't forever. This is just for right now. And whatever it is, even if I don't understand what I'm learning stuff from this. And it's developing parts of me that I didn't, kind of like it's dormant parts of you when you're developing something or you're learning something new or doing something different. But anyways, I feel really more scattered than normal and less in this place or something. I don't know. That's just weird. So anyways, I might be back in a while. I'm going to go up to that food bank and grab a couple more things. I don't think we're going to go into some, famine or something like a lot of people but it just seems smart to be prepared. I'd rather have a few things, you know. I mean, I'm not going to go do a whole cellar. I don't have a bug out or anything like that. I do kind of go over a plan in my head. But one of the things I'd want to save is all my clothes, like, all my clothes collection. I know, oh, I have a, so sometimes I'll think, okay, so what outfits? I'll just grab my clothes and put them in a bag. But then really, I mean, what are you going to do? Carry your clothes in a backpack everywhere? So I'd be the one in the apocalypse dream. I mean, the apocalypse movie. I'm carrying my suitcase, putting on a different outfit for each apocalyptic day that we're surviving. Well, I don't think that my higher self would have been guiding me to go and get all these outfits if they were just going to get burned up in a atmospheric disaster. I think that everything is going to be changing, so I'm going to keep focusing on hope and being excited for the future. But I do know that there's a lot of people who do think like this is the end of everything, and people are killing other people because it just doesn't matter, and there's just so much going on in all these different souls journeys. There's different souls experiences. So I don't know. If you just focus on everybody else's trauma, it just beats you down even more. You know, there's a thing about having empathy, but then there's also like where I'm seeing where people just keep going in and going back over and over and over at certain things. Like people are so freaking out about this, the stuff with the WHO and everything, over what's gonna go on with them taking away our sovereignty. But you know, I mean, we just have to keep claiming it. You know, we just got to keep, even if they come, you know, knocking on our door. Well, I was going to say the same thing to my own government as I will say to them. They got no business here. They got no business with me. I'm sovereign and I am not a part of their system. You know, I think the more that we all claim that, the more we just stand firm and, hey, you go play your system by yourself. And I think that they want, I was thinking because Zuck gave so much money in the donkey, then when you see how much, like there's so much interference, just so much. But I think that some of these people, like the thing is that they're freaking out, but the government sold us a long time ago and they're acting like it's just about to happen. It's like, no, we were sold a long time ago. We have got to just say, no, we are not going to participate in their system. And I think that, you know, for a long time that they, maybe they just let it get out of control or something, so many people. And why now all of a sudden that they feel like they have to go in and wipe so many of us out. But they've been planning it for a long time. But I was wondering if some of these people like Rockefeller, you know, like the beginning people, the ancient family people, if they, you know, that they had their system. I mean, they were so in control of everything, the education, the banks, everything. So if they, the medical, everything is these same damn people. So if, you know, that if they had their reign for a long time, but they always, I mean, they would wipe people out. They kept kind of population control by creating wars and taking away the guys who were father age and making all this pressure and stress on women. And so they had a certain thing that they kept doing is like population control. But then I just kind of feel like those, so they pulled in people from schools and military universities, everything that had no moral fiber, you know, people who didn't really care about other people. They read that on the tests and they're like, hey, we got a job for you. So they pull in these Zucks and these Gator Boys and stuff. And but I was just thinking, I wonder if it is kind of some of those people brought in this eugenics kind of framework, like, well, let's just go. When you get a lot of mad scientists, the Fauci and the Gator Boy in the same room, and it's never going to be a good conversation. It's going to be helpful for any of us. You got one that has all this, crazy mad scientist ideas of how to take diseases out of other things and put them inside of us just for fun. And the other one who thinks it's a good idea to wipe out most of the people. So, I don't know. I just thought, I wonder how much of some of the stuff they're doing was because of these other people coming in and saying, hey, what we ought to do? What we ought to do? That's what they have all those meetings. That's why they get in those meetings. They go out there, take off all their clothes and dance around. They have all these meetings so that they enjoy discussing it, of how they can destroy us and destroy this world. It gives them joy. So, but I do think that, I think that we've got a bad combo of these lawmakers and stuff, that because all it is they are making a world for them. Nothing is ever for us. The laws, everything that they do is just for them. It's never about us at all. So, but, that's what everybody is waking up to. Everybody's having to see for themselves. But everything I see just shows more and more connection and more about, what this place is. To me, there's no denying it at all. But there's still people in denial. But there's going to be no way to keep denying it when something's going to be going down. I don't know. I still am hopeful because it's the 22nd through the 28th. There are these big days that these people are really fearing. But with the stuff that's coming out about those asses and the 2000, then all of that evidence that is going in Durham's keeps being seen. I mean, he's got something out and about going on. So I don't know. I think that there could be some mass arrests or something. I mean, I still, there's people now who have given up on an alliance of any kind. I still think that there is an alliance of, the other side that is working behind the scenes. I do think that there really is tribunals going on and arrests happening and, all of that stuff. I think all of that stuff is really going on. But I just think that this beast is so big that it's very complicated thing to take it down and not get us all killed in the process. Because these people are crazy. They're just like, they're crazy. But it seems like I'm being judgmental. I mean, but this world is to go through this experience. Even though I know on a soul level there's not good or bad or evil or whatever. All of a sudden a McDonald's commercial comes on. I had the ocean waves. Oh, maybe because I need it. And then it just popped back off. Because, this is the last thing I'll say then, is I just saw somebody, they went up to McDonald's, got some chicken McNuggets because people are talking about there's some sort of plastic or something inside of them. There's, all sorts of artificial things. People are going to find out. There's some really gross ass stuff we've been eating. They just put the flavor on it and, we don't know. We'll just eat whatever. Flavor it. Give us a sauce. Is there a dipping sauce? So, he went up and got some children's kids meal McNuggets, and then he has a microscope, so he took it home, broke them open, and took it apart and started looking inside. There was all sorts of artificial stuff in there. There was pink pieces of plastic or something, little black things. There was these things that look like that stuff that is in everything that they've been putting in everything. That starts with a GR. You definitely cannot say that word. But I think that, like I've been saying the whole time, It was never just in this. The people who thought, oh, that was it. Oh, we're the winners. Like, oh my God, what reality do you live? This is obviously not the one that has awareness of what the hell these people are up to. So now, I mean, they're even putting it in kids stuff. So we're full of whatever chemicals are in our experiment and our location and our environment, whatever. We're all full of them. I think it's smart to realize it. It's better to have the awareness, but don't get in the fear, but know what you're working with, know what you're fighting against. You're fighting against chemicals and toxins and stuff. People are all focused on thinking that they're trying to fight the flu. And now there's lawsuits coming out from people getting so sick from those things. So everything is going to keep going in this direction, but something is going to blast a lot of people awake. And then there's going to be a lot of outrage. And it could be that something so outrageous is going to come in that that is what's going to cause the lights to come on for everybody. Just something so outrageous. Maybe it won't be like a threat of death. Maybe it'll just be something so outrageous. Maybe they'll just pull old Joe up on the stage and just rip that thing off in front of everybody. That'd be good. If we could get everybody to pay attention to that, that'd be really good. So anyways, I will talk to you later. I don't even know if I said anything that made any sense today. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.